and I love somebody else. If I can love myself enough to know when it's time to let go. See, I just wanna be so happy, but the answer lies in me. I do believe that I wanna be happy. Yes, to be happy. That's a kind of love that's mine. Will be so sweet. All I really want is to be happy. That's a kind of love that's mine. Will be so sweet. All I really want is to be happy. That's a kind of love that's mine. It will be so sweet.
Was the transition a good transition for you, or were there some, you know, problems with it?
Um, so you mean like growing up or just like the administration itself? Because I was lucky it happened on a Saturday and I was at home with my mom.
Wow, you even remember the day.
Well, yeah, because she was literally in the kitchen washing stuff, and I come out the bathroom like, hey, there's like what there. She was like, oh, I know what to do, and then she grabbed everything and came in the bathroom with me and explained it. Because
Right.
luckily, I think I had seen the video about it, and I had heard some other girls talking about it, so I wasn't like scared or I had no idea what it was. I was just like, oh wow, it's happening now, type of thing. And then
So
I guess when my
phys-
mom explained, it kind of freaked me out maybe a little bit. And she was like, do you know what this means? And I'm like, no. She's like, this means you can get pregnant now. And then she kind of left it at that and didn't explain any further. So I guess that transition to womanhood was a little weird. I feel she could have explained that a little longer, but that's all she did. And then went back to doing what she was doing.
so physically, was it, did it bear any problems for you, or was it not that big of a deal?
Mm, I know before that, let's say 11, I started wearing training bras. So that was the
Mhm.
only main difference. It's not like I needed the training bra. It's just so you get used to wearing a bra. Um, but not anything I can really notice. I did obviously within that year or two notice, boys, paying more attention or giving more attention, but I never got that much attention growing up. So even a little bit of attention was still a little shocking to me around those ages.
But yeah, but what I mean is, like, was it uncomfortable physically? Like, were you in pain? I've gotten stories like that. The transition from just being one of the kids to menstruating for some women is what turned them into tomboys, because they were just
Oh.
so uncomfortable with those changes that was happening to their bodies, and they just wanted to conceal it and hide it as much as they could, and that it was painful actually for whatever cramps and all the other things that came along with it. And then for some women, it was just kind of like, oh, it's just a part of it, and you just kind of dealt with it.
Yeah, I think I kind of dealt with it. Between, I know, 12 to 14, I had a lot of what they call growing pains, a lot of pain in the hips, some pain in the chest. But I stayed pretty small and slim until college. So I guess I didn't have that much of a transition because some women go from flat chested to like 3 cup sizes up in the summer. I didn't have that experience. So I think I was a slow bloomer, luckily. But besides some general like sores, aches, and pains from growing, I was still pretty comfortable with my body. Just awkward, I guess. When you're those ages, you can't be completely comfortable, but definitely awkward.
So since it happened at 12, that's like sixth grade.
6th grade.
So what was school like for you, sixth, seventh, and eighth grade? Were you doing well academically?
I believe towards the end of elementary, I was doing better. Um, I would say an average maybe B minus student. Middle school, for me personally was like one of the best times because I didn't really have any bullies. All the bullies were gone. I had like
Yeah.
three good best friends I saw every day. And then it was just school, friends, home. Like I didn't have anything extra because I felt like elementary and high school were like the worst times for school because I just kept running into bad people or, as my brother said, jealous people that just wanted to make me feel a piece of their misery. So I would just say, like I said, he says sixth, because I know it's different now. But back then, seventh and eighth was middle school, and those are like my best years in school. It was just pretty simple. Obviously, guys were being, silly, asking me out, but I wasn't paying attention to that. I was just enjoying my time.
Okay. So now transition. Oh, wait. Okay. So during this period, same time frame, 12, 13, 14, middle school, right?
Mhm.
Um, are you dating at all? Do you have any fancies for boys at all?
I mean, yeah, I would see a cute boy or two, but dating wasn't even on my radar. For one, my father wasn't going to have it. My twin brother wasn't going to have it. Older brother wasn't going to have it. So I didn't even think of that. In high school, of course, I thought about it, but it was never like a serious thing. It was like, oh, I like you, you like me. Can I see you after school? No, we're not having that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to happen. I felt a lot of my friends around me, especially the ones from the single parent households, they just seem to have all this free time to hang out with people after school. And I never had that. I was in dance classes, art classes. So even meeting up with a boy, it's like that. I mean, impossible because someone was always watching me.
So let's transition into high school, right? Going into high school, big old high school, right? It's all the
Hmm.
rage. And um, let's start with freshman and sophomore years.
Hmm.
How are you doing academically, first of all?
Man, I feel like it's been forever. I think I was doing okay enough to pass. I would say the beginning of high school, at least the workload was a little difficult. I would say I was like a C plus average.
Mhm.
And the thing is with high school, I will say this only had 3 years of high school. Um, in first grade, I got held back because that was the first part of elementary, and I just was not focusing in school at all and dealing with a lot of bullies.
Mhm.
So I didn't, pass first grade, so I had to take it again. So at that point, me and my twin brother were in different grades. And then in high school, I took summer school, sophomore, or I don't know how you say it. After my sophomore year, I took summer school and I took 2 classes so that my third year of high school would actually be my senior year.
Okay.
So sometimes I get mixed up between sophomore, junior, and senior because they were all like the same to me. And I
Right.
just wanted to get out of high school, obviously, so I can graduate the same time as my twin brother.
So, well, I guess that kind of eliminates the junior sophomore question because you kind of went through it all at once.
Hmm.
Um, and you had to have been doing pretty well in order for you to graduate early. So that's pretty
Hmm.
good. Um, that's commendable. And I know you
Hmm.
wanted. I know graduating with your brother at the same time was probably a heavy motivation for that.
Hmm.
Um,
Definitely.
so high school and boys. Are
Hmm.
you developing relationships with boys at this point? Um, are you even experiencing any emotional attachments to boys or any of that during your high school years?
I would say yes. I believe it was sophomore year. I finally got a cell phone. So when we got cell phones, obviously we were able to connect with other people. And if I got caught texting a boy, my parents would actually take my phone for the week. So then I would go to school and use my friend's phone to text people. But it was mostly just other women. But every once in a while, I would have a crush on a boy and we would text for a while. But once they realized I couldn't meet up after school or I wasn't willing to do other things, they would stop texting me. So I had that experience happen at least twice. And it was crushing. It's like, okay, I thought we were having a good conversation. And he's like, well, you can never meet me after school, so I don't want to talk to you anymore. And that happened, like I said, 2 main times.
Mm.
And we would talk for like months,
Um,
and then it would just stop.
so, okay. because of the way the story is being told, I have to kind of move differently. I have to bring in a question that I wasn't ready to ask yet.
No, you can go
Safe
ahead.
to say you didn't lose your virginity during your high school years?
No, I didn't.
Okay. So when you're graduating high school, did you go to college?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So when you're going into college, do you think that in hindsight, right? Because maybe back then maybe you weren't thinking about it, but in hindsight, do you think you took those experiences with you into your college years of being kind of disappointed that the boys were distancing themselves from you, so to speak, when they seen that they couldn't go as far with you as they wanted to? Or did you kind of just like chalk it up to those boys and maybe it was just a high school thing?
No, I remember back then I put all boys in the same category. It's like, okay, they all want something.
Yeah.
So I have to keep that in mind before I talk to someone. So in college, I think I went into college with a lot of fear. And then also,
Mhm.
um, the conversation I had with my mom, I guess the first year after college, is that she wishes I waited a year to go to college because I didn't have that extra year of high school to like grow and develop. She said at that point I lacked a lot of maturity, so I was still operating pretty much with a child's mindset, which I guess makes sense. But also, I couldn't leave the house without either of my brothers, so it seemed like they just grew up faster than I did. But naturally, if you have more interactions with people and more life experience, you're gonna develop naturally. So I was used to always having a man there to protect me, or a boy there to protect me, and my brother's dad, uncles, or boy cousins. I wasn't, like I said, allowed to just go walking around the neighborhood by myself. It never happened.